I just keep thinking about how Brianna has felony charges brought against her, and yet schools get hundreds of threats every year. And I feel like I don't hear about hundreds of people being charged as felons for making a verbal threat against a school. It's almost like if the person being threatened doesn't have any power, then it doesn't really matter. Kind of like how women who are in domestic violence situations can barely get a restraining order against their abusive husband. And I'll never forget at one of the school shootings that happened earlier this year, one of them, because the one that just happened yesterday was the 83rd one this year. But one of the ones that happened earlier this year, they got a phone call that morning saying that there was going to be a shooter there, and it still happened. So nobody did anything about that threat. And yet Brianna, mom of 3, is in prison with a $100,000 bail and being charged as a felon because the insurance that she pays for wouldn't cover the procedure that I bet you anything her doctor told her that she needed. And if the response to Brianna's threat has shown us anything, it's that those in power take threats really seriously when it affects them. But someone threatens another person because they hear them speaking Arabic, that doesn't really matter. Schools get a threat of violence, that doesn't really matter to them either. The most dangerous time for a woman is when she's trying to leave an abusive man. But do they take the threats that he makes against her seriously? No, she has to have evidence of violence. Oh, but be careful, because a woman was just charged with a surveillance felony because she recorded the man who was graping her. So do threats really matter? I mean, if you say on national television that this person you don't like should line up in front of a pew-pew squad, I mean, I feel like that would be considered a threat, a threat of violence. But maybe it's not if the person saying it is a millionaire. And maybe the threats only matter if the person you're saying it against is a millionaire or a billionaire. Anyway, free Brianna.